Welcome. We are back. I'm back. Kojo is back. And at the end of our last chat off air, when we came off the camera, we was just talking pure wrestling. This is what I love about this. You end up talking about what most people just think we this talk about football and stuff like that, but you don't know that the wrestling's also involved in it. We was chatting for about a good 20 minutes when we come off air and was like, you know what? You watching Royal Rumble? Yes, I'm watching Royal Rumble. And then the chat started, and then we was like, listen, we've got to jump on a dash of sports and talk about wrestling. Hi there, guys. My name is Ashiki Dash, and I'll be your host today with my guest once again, Kojo of Free in Midfield. And we're going to be talking all things wrestling today. Going to be chopping it up, just giving you that organic feel as two wrestling heads after watching Royal Rumble. We just thought, you know what? Let's just jump on and just discuss it. What's going on, Kojo?
I'm good, man. I actually there's a lot to talk about considering this Royal Rumble and then Raw after actually, because I have a lot of thoughts as to why things were happening. But we'll get there, obviously. But I'm good, man.
Definitely get there.
I do.
Let's just jump straight into it, man. Royal Rumble 2022. Like, actually, before we jump in there, like, let me just get a feel of what wrestling means to you, because we was chatting about it for time. But what, like, are you a wrestling head? Would you call yourself a wrestling head?
I'll call myself a WWE head more than anything else. I'm aware, and I do watch certain wrestlers or certain matches of other promotions or other wrestlers, like not the whole show. I wouldn't watch a whole Impact show because Impact's for me is terrible TV. I wouldn't watch a whole New Japan Pro Wrestling because obviously the time difference and all that. I ain't got time for that. But I'm very much aware of all other talents and all of that. And of course, I'm very much aware of AEW as well. So, but yeah, I'm more of a WWE head. I'm a huge NXT fan. So, yeah.
What if I was to push you on a kind of a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, like the ones that you'd put up there as, you know, these are your guys that you grew up watching, or even now, who would you put up there in your list?
Okay, so Mount Rushmore, I guess we're going for 4 heads, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then in terms of greatest, Ric Flair's up there. I mean, he has to be up there. There's no other. His influence outside of wrestling is just, it's untold of. Second one is Cena.
Okay.
Has to be Stone Cold.
I
think Stone Cold's influence and his impact for fans everywhere, especially with the beer drinking, I think everyone just loves that a lot. And the fourth one, you know what? The fourth one, I have to go for the Undertaker.
Right. Okay.
Because,
no, not even a right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I always consider The Rock. I consider Shawn Michaels. One I actually really consider a lot is Brock Lesnar, but I feel like he has to retire before we think about his whole impact. But Undertaker is just.
Yeah, that's the phenom right there.
Yeah, the nickname is the phenom. I'd have to go any further than that. That's just game. Game recognizes game. That guy is just untouchable. When it comes to the greatest of all time, everyone, there's no doubts about his respect level. Everyone knows who he is and what he's about, and that's the be all and end with that.
Sick. I think for me, it has to be The Rock, because I just grew up in that era, that attitude era, Versace wearing, the Gucci loafers,
yeah.
The shades, the way he used to walk down the ring to his music, all of that. He was the number one star for me. And then obviously it goes without saying the rivalry between him and Stone Cold Steve Austin. If there's no Stone Cold, there's no Rock. If there's no Rock, there's no Stone Cold. Facts. So he definitely has to be up there. And then Undertaker, and I think more so I appreciate Undertaker. Not to say the latter stages, but you then realize the one character that he had, he worked on that so much. Like, in this new edition or like reality era where everybody's called John Smith or Tony Waters as a wrestler, he was the Undertaker. He held down that name. And everything that went with it, man. And so many reincarnations of the character as well. So Undertaker. And then the fourth one, I would only put this, and this is a little bit controversial. I only put him in there because of the like more nostalgic and childhood, and that was Hulk Hogan, man. I know that he's
very
with
controversial.
the whole N-word and all of that kind of stuff, but in terms of who I grew up watching, who I associated wrestling with, I used to put the plastic bag over into my body, looking like some tank top. I used to rip it open. That's what I used to rip open the plastic bag and act like Hulk Hogan. So that's definitely my Mount Rushmore right there, man. But yeah, that just shows you just like, even at these ages now, we're still obviously thinking and talking about wrestling. And just to jump on this year's Royal Rumble, because for me, I always think when it comes to the, you might not watch wrestling every week, but you know to yourself, when it comes to these main huge shows, you jump on it and your love for wrestling just goes back. And this is pretty much like the road to WrestleMania. So it always starts with Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble 2022. What was your feeling about it, man?
I wasn't as annoyed as many others because I kind of expected it to be a storyline builder, which is quite disappointing because you want it to be a sort of like a storied moment. That's what you watch it for. It's entertainment, isn't it? It's like watching any sort of drama on TV. You want that huge payoff. So you're like, okay, this is why I watched it. Not they just did this because obviously at some point what's going to happen. You know what's coming in the future. Like you want something crazy to happen. So in that side of it, I was a bit disappointed. But in terms of the show itself, the matches and the little bit of moments that they tried to provide, I wasn't dissatisfied. I was quite. I won't say I was happy, but I was like, okay, you know what? I quite enjoyed it. One or two things I didn't really enjoy, but overall, I was quite satisfied with what I saw. But I can also get the frustration from the fans because
my frustration was with the whole, like, some of the, like, I would say even all the fights really felt like they felt rushed.
Okay.
It's like they rushed the endings. And like, you know, we'll get into some of the fights and stuff like that. But for example, like the Becky Lynch one, and she was fighting the big henchers.
What a name. Dewdrop.
And I was just like, all right, cool. Like, you know, you get the crescendo of the fight, you get all the move sets and everything like that. And it was just like they sped through to try and pull off that rock bottom from the top ropes. And I was just like, oh, come on, man. Like, build it up a bit more, like, before you get to these endings. And I just felt like that was the only thing that let the Royal Rumble down. But in terms of like the matchups, or in terms of the card itself, I was excited for it because, you know, there's Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. There's Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I was a tad excited about seeing Edge and Beth Phoenix and the Miz and Maurice and stuff like that. So they had the fights there, but it just felt like, you know, you were just kind of rushing it through. Let's just start off with some of the fights. Let's start off with the Royal Rumble. Let's start off with the title fight between Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
What was your take on it? Because I feel like the build-up was a bit short-lived. Obviously, they got a lot of history there, but like, what was your take on that fight and stuff?
The match was good. I'm gonna be fair to those two. The match was good. Like, look, the storyline was built nicely on Seth Rollins basically saying, like, look, I made you in it. Like, I'm in your head. I know how to kick your ass and I know how to beat you in that. And then Roman Reigns comes through, does his thing. You know, he's the one. You know, he's now super hench. He's got bars of soap for teeth. So he's thinking he's feeling himself right now. And then you hear the Shields music, and I was like, okay,
bro. When that hit, I was like, okay.
I was like,
I understand.
yeah, I'm liking this. This is good. And then Seth Rollins wearing the gear, it's coming from the fans. I'm like, yeah. This is good. But with that, I kind of knew straight away that Roman Reigns was gonna win he didn't win, but he went away with it because it's like, there's no way you're gonna let Seth Rollins do all of that and Roman Reigns is gonna lose again to this man. No way in hell is that gonna happen. So I enjoyed the match. The ending again, see, this is the thing, because I am very aware of how they do storylines. I wasn't mad at the ending, but again, I understand the frustration because you want a finish, you want a 1, 2, 3, you don't want a disqualification.
Yeah.
A big show like that, you want the match to end in a dramatic way, and you have your definitive winner, and that's that. You were talking earlier about rush finishes. Apparently, Vince McMahon changed the finish last second.
Okay.
I said that he wanted a finish similar to how Seth Rollins betrayed him, and
so that's where all the chair shots came at the end and stuff like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I clocked when him on the back with the chair. He landed on the way Roman did, and I was like, okay, I see it now. I see now.
The way I saw it, it was like almost like, obviously it leaves room for a continuation, as you know, it would definitely, because there was no 1, 2, 3. But also I think it was just like kind of more like the same way the Seth Rollins kind of character and champion was birthed off the back of that chair shot and everything like that, kind of similar to Roman Reigns as well, so for going through that sequence. So kind of just showing this is the birth of Roman Reigns in terms of being like the champion and the leader of the WWE. Like, before we just tail off their fight, how are you feeling about Roman Reigns' character right now? Because the bloodline, the head of the table, the chief, the tribal chief, I am loving this character. I think this is his best run, ever.
Comfortably.
Better than the Shield.
Oh, yeah. Comfortably. Listen, bro. He's untouchable. I've said this I've said it time and time again. Like, I understand people are like, you need to make your champion at some point beatable. I'm like, why?
Nah.
If you're the champion, you're supposed to look near John Jones don't go into a UFC fight and say, you know what, I'm gonna let you get a few hits on me, make you look beatable, and then I'll just back get the win, and then all of that. Bro, you're here to just kill people. The guy went away for 5 months, came back ultra hench.
Yeah.
Dominated everyone. He was saying wreck everyone and leave. That was his motto. And then he said, I'm the tribal chief. I'm the head of your table. Man was beating up people. Then he look in the camera and say, talk to your husband. I'm putting food on your table. Yeah? I'm doing that for you. And now you want him to look beatable. For what reason? So what? Hangman Adam Page can come from AEW and pin him. I lie, man. Like, make it realistic, innit? Yeah,
make it realistic.
Believable, because like that's what fans don't tend to understand. It's like when I don't know how you feel about this. Me personally, I was delighted by it. Brock Lesnar ending the streak, right? I loved it. I loved it, and people were like, but you should have given it to a future talent or something. And I'm like, you need to make it someone that's believable. Brock Lesnar's an ass kicker. He comes and kicks everybody's ass.
UFC champion.
What's that? Pat McAfee calls him the alpha male of our species. If aliens came onto this planet, there's one man you would send to go and fight them.
You're putting forward.
I believe you, because his chest has chest, his shoulders have shoulders. Like, he's wham, but he's quick. He's aggressive, and he's an actual legitimate ass kicker. What if you see him on the street? And he's come to fight you. You don't want to fight him.
Serious dude.
So, that's when it comes to Roman Reigns. Yeah, right now, Roman Reigns, if I was dealing with wrestling and I bumped into this guy into the street and I cussed him out and he turned around and said, what? I'll be like, hey, you know what, fam? Can't lie.
I'm gonna have to think.
Sorry, it wasn't me, man.
What I like about Roman Reigns right now, he's definitely in his bag with the character. I really like, and like you said, it's not just about here. I think where he's got in his bag right now is he's learning to be like the dirtiest player in the game. And I'm a heel guy.
Yes.
I'm when it comes to wrestling, I like a baddie, because when you're a baddie, when you're a heel, there's so much room for character development.
Yeah.
When you're a goodie, it's only so much you can do with it. without like, you know, they're clapping hands in the crowd and they're smiling and all of that kind of stuff. And then most times the face always loses anyway. They always come up short. But the heel can do a small package, can poke you in the eye, could throw salt in your eyes, whatever it is, low blow. And as you see, getting away with multiple chair shots to the back and obviously retaining the title. So it was a disqualification. Man choked out what's it called? Seth Rollins wasn't letting go. Referee's telling him to stop. He's not letting go. He's not letting go. You deserve this.
Yeah,
he deserves this. How you choking out a man and telling him that he deserves this?
But it's good though. But that's what you're saying though. Character development, isn't it? Like you want to have those story moments. Obviously, if you're in the crowd and you're sitting in the high seats, you can't hear that. For you, it's just like, oh, come on, man. But if you're watching at home and you see that live, you're like, okay, yeah, this is wavy. Like this is what you want, man.
This is what you want. And like you said, talking down at the camera and talking down to the family and all of that kind of stuff. He really believes he's the tribal chief, the head of the table.
There you go.
And I like the fact that he brought his cousins through. You know, the insurance policies as they are. They're obviously WWE champions. I'm actually waiting till they bring out the other brother from NXT.
Oh, you know, what did they call him again? Solo Sikoa.
Yeah. Need him to hurry up so we can get the third member in there. Because I think the bloodline will be sick with another member in there.
What's terrifying about that small family, all of them look the same. There's not one bit of difference. All of them look the same. Like literally, you'll think they're twins. Well, obviously the Usos are twins.
Yeah.
But you think that one is a third twin.
You think, triplets.
Yeah, you think it's a triplet thing. Like they all look the same. It's
the
ridiculous.
good thing about their family like lineup is like even with the brother in NXT, you could already see that his wrestling ability, the way he's obviously moving around the ring, it's not a jittery kind of stuff. It doesn't look like he's just starting out. These guys are seasoned professionals.
Yeah, he's
moving. So it's going to be very interesting to see how their character obviously develops. What was the next fight that you was enjoyed or didn't enjoy?
If I want to say didn't enjoy it, it's that Becky Lynch one. If we can get past that one, to be honest, that one was just a waste of time, man.
I think she's struggling right now, you know,
bro. They are trying so hard to make her, I don't know, some really terrible heel, and she's just not doing it, man. And it's not even her fault. It's not even her fault, man. It's just not built. It's not part of her character. Like, just make her who she is. If fans like her, still fine. If they don't, it is what it is. I ain't got time for all this. And this whole drop thing, yeah, that's probably one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. What's her name before? Piper Niven. She's Scottish, yeah. Mm-hmm. So Piper Niven, that's her name, and she made her name off that. So all right, cool. You know what? If that's what she's known as, and the rest of the fans like her as that,
drop.
And you went for drop. What the heck does that even mean?
I think she took over. What's her name? The Rock's cousin. I forget her name.
Nia Jax.
Yes, Nia Jax. I think she's just replaced her. They're just like, you know, we need a big lady. We need kind of someone that's what we'll call strong. To obviously push the likes of Becky Lynch, obviously make her stronger. Because if she's beating the likes of her, then it makes her look strong, innit?
Yes. Sorry, bro. I'm not gonna say it on this stream right now, but when you get a chance, just type in what is a drop, and when you see the answers.
Oh Lord.
Lord. Yeah. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it on the stream, man. I don't want to say it, man.
Wow. Hey, if any viewers watching and you know what drop is, yeah, man, write in the comment section. Let us know. I
don't want to say it, man.
We're gonna what's it called? All right, so we'll move on from the Becky Lynch one because I didn't enjoy that matchup either. Who else had a good matchup? Let's just look quickly. Oh, let's what about Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth Phoenix, the It couple versus the Grit couple? Storyline's been rumbling for time. The Miz and the Edge obviously having their beef, pretty much kind of, I wouldn't say similar trajectories, but in terms of like winning the titles and being opportunities, both like Money in the Bank winners, and then obviously they've capitalized and getting the titles, and obviously the trajectory of their careers have aligned where they're beefing each other. But then not only that, they've obviously got their significant others that have been in wrestling as well. You got the Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix, and also I don't think Maurice has got any Hall of Fame stuff, but you know, she is a future Hall of Famer because of her contribution in wrestling. But how did you feel about like not only just seeing two massive names in Edge and the Miz, and then also having the Misses also involved? How did you feel about all of that?
I was calm with it because I know that Maurice and Beth Phoenix are damn good at what they do. You know what I'm saying? So that was just like, hey, you know what? I'm looking forward to this. I think it'll be a good match. I think both will bring everything they can to the table, and that's that. Be one end all. And it was. That's literally what it was. It was a good match. It was a fun match. That's what I should say. It's a fun match. It was one of the ones where you could tell that the partners or the couples were just enjoying the moment of being in the ring with each other.
100%, yeah.
That's what we're here for. And as a fan, you'll feed into that, innit? You'll like that. You
can feel the energy.
Yeah, that's what you want. You know, you want to watch it, or you're gonna be part of it. Watching it, you want to feel like they're making you feel part of that whole match situation as well. It was nice, man. It was nice, and I to be honest, I actually thought Edge was gonna lose. I thought it was gonna be Miz and Maurice because I don't remember the last time they teamed up and won. Because when they teamed up against John Cena and not anymore, but John Cena and Nikki Bella, they got destroyed. They got destroyed, and then I think they had another one and they lost that as well. So I was thinking it would have been like, okay, finally they'll get.
Was that the one? Was that the one when John Cena proposed?
Yeah, straight after.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
Yeah, imagine that you propose in front of 80,000 people and you don't even get to walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
Life is tough, man. Life is tough.
You know what? I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. And I'll definitely pick it back off what you said. You just felt the energy. And I'm looking at someone like Maurice, who's probably out of the whole couples and stuff like that, is not as athletic as the rest, but she held her own. In terms of obviously telling a storyline, she definitely held her own. And my girl went up the top rope and did a Hurricane Rana on Edge. I'm like, okay, I see you out here. You must have been practicing that for a while. And so, yeah, man, like, you know, no one sold anyone short on the storyline. I like the way they made Beth Phoenix look ultra powerful because she's a powerhouse.
Proper
like,
powerhouse.
She is, I think she's even more wedged than she used to be. Like, I don't know whether it's Edge that's looking a bit skinny, but she was looking.
She's always been, like, from back in the day, she's always been, you know, proper built.
Yeah,
like, she works in the gym. Like, she proper works in the gym, you can tell. So for her, probably just child's play. But I will say this, for both of them, I will commend because same as Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, which we'll obviously get to at some point as well, they've all had children and they all look fantastic and they get back into the ring and they compete just like they were competing years ago. Or Ronda Rousey in the UFC and WWE for a bit as well. Like, you know, they're still doing their thing. It's impressive, man. You can only respect that. Can only respect that. That's why the women, like, in terms of their careers in whole, like, they should get more respect because the Bella Twins have done that as well. Now, so they return to the Rumble. Their mothers, they're the wrestlers now.
It's true.
Their mothers, and they come and do their thing. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. You gotta respect.
It's not easy. You actually, you know what? I didn't actually think about it that way. When you actually going through the list of names, like you said, the Bella Twins, you're going with Beth Phoenix, you're going with Maurice, Becky Lynch, all mums coming back. Don't even look like an ounce of any type of baby fat or anything like they got. Wow. So the regime is on point. And you know, women's wrestling, if you obviously you ain't a big wrestling head and you just think of yourself, oh, women's wrestling is boring and stuff like that. I tell you, certain fights and certain matches that you'd watch or Royal Rumble, certain events, sometimes, or even I could say even most times, can really compete or even just as good as the men's as well. So the women's have definitely come a long way with that. But all in all, yeah, I really enjoyed that fight between the couples there. Who else? I think then it went into just the Royal Rumbles after that, innit? There wasn't anything. I didn't catch the pre-show, so I know there must have been.
No, I didn't watch that either.
Decent fight there. All right, cool. So let's just jump into the women's Royal Rumble straight away, man. What was your take on that?
I enjoyed that a lot more than the men's. I'll say that for free. I enjoyed that a lot more than the men's. I think they put the legends out at the right times. The fact that the Mickey James thing was huge.
That was huge. I was like, so hold on. Let's just touch on that quickly. For those that don't know, Mickey James is a former WWE wrestler, women's champion. She's was obviously released. She's gone to TNA, a different faction. Now, if you know about WWE, they're not on this sharing the limelight with other companies unless they go out there and acquire their services and buy them out like they did with WCW. They do not mention anybody else.
Yeah,
TNA, their affiliation not only with obviously WWE now, and you also they've done it with AEW. Like, what's your thoughts on how WWE now like kind of shone the light on TNA?
No, it's kind of their own fault in a sense, and I'm not trying to make it a negative, but when you release so many people and you are lacking numbers and you're not ready to bring any women up from NXT, which the women at NXT are fantastic, by the way, use them a lot more because they're damn good. But you've got the opportunity to just try and keep more people in. And look, I know why they've done it. It's because they knew they were going to pay Ronda Rousey. They knew they were going to pay Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar is appearing on TV a lot more. And I know he's a phenomenal businessman. If he's appearing on TV, he's leaving with $1 million in his pocket, 100%. So if you're bringing back all these guys, you need to now adhere to their terms. That whether you like it or not, you're going to do what they say. And Mick James obviously said, look, when I left, someone that you fired, obviously, because of what he did to me, when he delivered my belongings in bin bags rather than in actual boxes.
Yeah, that was cold, man.
If you're going to allow me to come into back to the Royal Rumble, you're going to give me some perks for my new company and where I'm at. So for her to walk out with the belt, for them to even put like the title of Impact World Champion above her name and them to mention it time and time again, that's a big thing for them. But I will say this, it's because they don't deem TNA anywhere near, or Impact, whatever they're called, anywhere near a competitor. Anywhere near. If it was someone from AEW, you think they'll be able to say AEW champion for anything?
No, they had Chris Jericho in the Stone Cold interview.
Well, yeah, because he's an established WWE legend. Like you can't touch Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's even said, like, even though he throws banter on what's it called, on Twitter, like ripping into WWE, he's always said to Vince McMahon from day, like, look, I'm part of this company. I'll run bants. I'll do what I want to do, but you know that I love you. You know you're my guy. And he mentions it all the time because he misses Vince McMahon, so he knows that's a respect thing. But he has to do what he has to do for his company, innit? He wants his company to grow and do his thing. So Chris Jericho can step into the door through the door anytime. Same as Daniel Bryan, he can do what he wants. He can come back to WWE one day and support the gang as well. So look, for me, it's like the Mickey James thing was just huge because allowing another title and having the name above and, letting people know that she is from Impact and that she is doing this. And then on top of that, she came out with her music from the company as well. Like, you didn't hear the generic Mickey James WWE music. She came out with other companies' music. All of that is huge. So that needs to happen more. But again, it'll be tough because Vincent Kennedy McMahon,
Uncle McMahon.
I will say this because you're an Arsenal fan. My cousin's an Arsenal fan. I'll say this because it's one of my favorite Vince McMahon things. Even though I don't really like him, he's a major crook, right? I know this is not a football podcast.
100%.
Oh yeah, and it's not a football podcast. But the day that he called Stan Kroenke a crook is the day I knew that Stan Kroenke was a real crook. If Vince McMahon can go on national TV and say that guy Stan Kroenke is a crook, I was like, yeah, real recognizes real. Yeah. You know who it is. All right, cool. But
exactly that.
Triple H has been trying to do this for a while. With NXT, he was Ring of Honor, it was Evolve, it was New Japan Pro Wrestling. New guys coming in, even if it was just like 4 or 5 appearances and then they decide whether they want to stay or they go, like he was doing that. And that's what made NXT so wavy. And I feel like Vince McMahon is trying to control that. But with so many releases, comes to a time where you just got to say, shoot. we need these guys coming.
We need it.
We need them guys coming. Flipping my work. I got my colleague at work. He's a wrestling fan as well, and he was listening to an interview with Nia Jax because now she's allowed to talk in it. And she was like, "They call me for the Royal Rumble," and she told him to fuck off.
Oh,
like
damn!
She said, I literally told him to fuck off because they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll pay you," and this and that. She goes, "Well, you're still paying me now, so what's the difference?" So why are you calling me? You know what I'm saying? And that's the situation.
She's just hurt. She's hurt, isn't it? She's still hurt. It's still raw.
She's hurt, but it makes sense, bro. Why should I work another day for a company that doesn't even want me there? You've already fired me. You said for 90 days I can't work anywhere else, but we'll pay you off regardless. We'll pay you your same money until the end of the 90 days and then you're done, right? Why would I come? You telling me you're gonna pay me. If I don't come, you're still paying me the same money. There is no difference. You're making it sound like we're giving you a wage. You're not giving me a wage. What you're doing is saying, "Oh yeah, you'll come and wrestle in the ring, but you'll still receive the same money you would have received if you sat at home on your couch watching it."
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one.
This is what I'm saying, like, bruv, like they're gonna get into a situation where, in the future, when they want more faces to come onto their channel or their show or whatever, they're gonna have to now get used to the fact that people are gonna tell them, "All right, cool. If you want me back on, you're gonna do what I say you're gonna do for me. If you want me to come onto that channel, you're gonna let me hold that title, and you're gonna recognize that this title is now on your show." And you can't do a damn thing about it. I respect it.
The thing, the way I see it is just like off the back of that. Now, is it going to be a situation where we see more interpromotional kind of interactions, or do you reckon it's just that was just or would it just be saved more for main shows like your Royal Rumbles, WrestleManias, and stuff like that? I think Royal Rumble is pretty much where you can play around with that.
Yeah, that's the only one. I mean, I don't know. Apart from AEW, because of they've got X guys there. I don't know who they can really go to and say for, because WWE talk about marquee in it. It's about making the most money and selling the biggest matches. Who can they go to and say, if you come, we can? I don't know. Apparently, I didn't know this. I heard that the TNA World Champion, his name is Moose. Apparently, well, you know, I mean, it's a black man.
The names are getting ridiculous every day.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a black man called Moose, but it is what it is. Apparently, my cousin's laughing. I'm trying my best not to laugh. He was like apparently trying to shoot shots, and he's been doing interviews saying, "Yeah, you know, if they want me to Royal Rumble, me versus Roman Reigns in the ring, fans are gonna buy into it." And I'm like, brother, I don't know who the fuck you are, man. Why would I buy into
who you are, man? This is the issue.
WWE's about the casual fans. So Biff from Luton can turn on WWE and talk about Stone Cold and that, and then here's Moose, and he's like, what the heck is this?
We don't know. We don't know your song. We don't know your theme song.
I don't even know what you look like. Bruv, you could be West African. You could be Bangladeshi for all I care. I don't know where you're from, bruv. But your name is Moose for no reason. Nah, it's a waste of time, man. No, these guys are not money makers.
Do you know what I was going to touch on? Just off the back of what we've been saying in regards to the either legends coming in, or now we're seeing like, you know, surprise wrestlers. In terms of that gimmick right now for Royal Rumble, man, how long do you reckon that can last for or run for? Because it's like after you've rinsed out all the legends, then what?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because for me, I'm tired of it. I'm watching Royal Rumble. Yeah, like, you know, it's good to have seen the legends come on, and you're waiting to see it, but it's gonna get to the point where you're gonna run out of people to bring on. When are we gonna get back to the core of the Royal Rumble? Because like even just now, the ring's not even always like filled up. Sometimes you only see five wrestlers in there. What happened to the days where we see like 20 in at one go?
There is. So again, this is why I kind of sorry for Triple H. The NXT thing that he was doing was a masterpiece, man. Because in the last from 2020, I say from 2015 to 2020, when your NXT guys going into the Rumble, they're already stars. So their reaction was just like anyone else that's on the main show. So they're building up their popularity. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, the next generation is coming. But then you release all these guys, you go somewhere else. And again, no matter how good or bad these shows are, they don't have the platform that WWE has. Because if you go to talk to anybody about wrestling, 9 times out of 10 they're talking about WWE. They're not talking about anything else.
Yeah. No one's chatting about anything else.
So, like, you have an opportunity to make stars, but then this is the issue, and I guess this is why the question comes from you as well, is there's only so much at this point where you're like, who's going to win because they're the only stars available, like actual stars, like money makers. People will switch on to the channel to watch this guy. That's why they're trying to get Tyson Fury to come back to WWE and do a stupid program with somebody, or they got the guy from Jackass in the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, the Johnny Knoxvilles and stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. Yeah.
Or just random people, and I'm like, brother, I'm not watching WWE to see Johnny Knoxville. Bro,
that era of Jackass is gone as well.
Bro, you stopped Bad Bunny practicing for his concerts. Come and do Royal Rumble for what reason? And what was his moment? He got F5 by Brock Lesnar. Of course he did. Of course he got F5 by Brock Lesnar. Like, bro, it's just a waste of time. Triple H had the model. He had the model. He had the blueprint. It was perfect because NXT was becoming major, and all this wrestling fans and they were nonsense about the wars on TV and all that. Triple H don't care about all of that. Make a sick show, you make stars. That's the be-all and end-all of it. And then when they go into the main show, continue their momentum. Don't get them onto the main show and then start calling them Dewdrop.
Oh, man. So with the Women's Royal Rumble, obviously we saw a lot of participants, some familiar names if you're not obviously familiar with them. We had the likes of the Carmellas, Dana Brooks. We saw the Bella Twins obviously make their comeback. We saw Kelly, Michelle McCool. These are some of the legends. Mickey James, Summer Rae. The Royal Rumble is pretty much filled up with legends rather than the main staples. And this is obviously what we're talking about. Not enough female participants that are really main staples and really pushing, the ladies division forward. Then we see Ronda Rousey come back. Now, I don't know what your take is on Ronda Rousey, but I'll let you, take the floor with this first, and then I'll give my opinion afterwards, man. So Ronda Rousey makes a comeback, and she makes it into the Royal Rumble.
I like Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
Because she's natural at the wrestling thing. Like, she walked into it like it's nothing for her. You know what I'm saying? So it was smooth. That being said, I wasn't happy that she won the Rumble. But when I heard her music, I was like, yeah, I know what's happening here. We know what's going on.
It was a good pop.
Yeah, bruv. If you hear Ronda Rousey's music, you're like, oh shit, okay, yeah. But again, like, for example, me being very, very selfish, but my favorite was Sasha Banks. Because I wanted her to win the thing. She's been in the company, I think, since like 2012, and she's not even come close. Like, deep it, she hasn't even come close to winning the Rumble. Forget about even being in it, because I think even last year she was number one as well, and this year she was number one again. So you're making her do this.
I think the reason being behind that is because let's say, for example, the Rumble, if she does win that, and then WrestleMania is usually around April times, her scheduling, because she does a lot of TV now, innit?
Yeah.
So she's doing a lot of TV, The Mandalorian, all this kind of stuff. So she's got her, WWE pimping her off in other places and other ventures. So that's why she's not really getting that main push like that. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen someone like Sasha Banks win it. Yeah,
man. I mean, look, even though she's doing all those things, her main home is wrestling. And 8 times out of 10, she's there. So if she misses one weekend, you can live with that, because she's a big enough star for people to want to return the next week and watch her. Because Roman Reigns done the same thing, but then all the rest have done it. John Cena in his like peak years. How many movies did he go away and do? Randy Orton did it.
Them WWE movies.
Bro, the Rock did The Mummy. It's what's his name? The Great Khali and Goldberg were in The Longest Yard.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it happens, man. Bro, like, they come in. It's not just wrestling's not just their be and end all, man. They're here to make money and live their lives. So that's fine, but you can put a championship on her, or you can give her the main event. Let her win the Royal Rumble. You'd have to give her the title at the end of it.
Yeah.
Loses at WrestleMania and it goes away for a bit. So be it. But she's more than worthy of a winner of being there at this time. But they did the same thing in what year was it? When Shayna, this one I'm talking about building stars. Shayna Baszler was killing it in NXT. She broke every woman's arm on that show. You step into the ring with her, your arm gets broken.
I like her,
And then you brought her into the Royal Rumble. You heard the noise the fans were making. She was choking people out, breaking their arms, and then throwing them off the top rope. And then Charlotte threw over the top. You're like, oh, here we go.
Oh, mate. Listen, we're gonna go through some of the endings because this is what I was talking about in terms of the ending itself. So we've got Ronda Rousey. She makes her appearance in the Royal Rumble. Massive pop. Fans going crazy. Then we've got Bianca Belair. We've got the Queen, Charlotte Flair. You got Ronda Rousey, and I think there was one more. Was it Baszler?
Yeah, she came late.
Yeah, Baszler. I think Baszler got kicked out. Then it was down to those three. Then it's obviously gone down to the last two, which is Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. Now, Ronda Rousey, this is my opinion on Ronda Rousey. I like what she's about. I like the badass as she's got on her. The badass. I like all of that. She just needs to refine herself when it comes to the wrestling. Some of those punches that she was trying to do, like, pulling the punches and stuff. Like, I'm not having that. Please stop. Stomp your feet. At least do something where that the punches sound like you're doing something. There's even one point she was doing a fury of punches in the corner, and she pushed Bianca Belair on the floor. Like, come on, man, lay down. I'm tired of doing this. I was like, come on, make it believable. But all in all, she's done all of that. It's the last two with Charlotte Flair. They're squaring up, patting each other's shoulders like this, grimace in the face, everything. One big boot that Charlotte Flair misses. She hits over the rope, and all one little flick over, and Ronda Rousey wins.
Yeah,
this is what I was like. At least a couple of attempted clotheslines, bounce off the ropes, some knee, trying to throw each other over the rope, and then kill it off. That ending was piss poor, man. I don't know how you felt about it.
Honestly, after it got to those two, and I kind of knew where I was going, the ending didn't mean a damn thing to me. Cause I know, but yeah, bro, man, I'm not even gonna lie, man. It's one of the ones I'm like, why? Why should I even care? Why should I know what's gonna happen. This is what I'm saying. Like, because I knew what was coming, I couldn't be dissatisfied because it wasn't what I expected. So, like, it's not one of them ones where I'm like, oh, I'm angry that you did what I expected. It's one of the ones where I'm just like, okay, I know why you did it. Look, her story is Becky Lynch had a kid. She's been a mother. I've not had a kid. I'm a mother. I'm coming for my revenge. I'm gonna beat you. And that's it.
So let's get to the Royal Rumble. Win the Royal Rumble. So what you're saying is Ronda Rousey is going to choose Charlotte Flair, or is she going to choose Becky Lynch for the WrestleMania?
She better pick Becky Lynch, because if she doesn't, it's a waste of our flipping time.
So you're saying to go after Becky Lynch instead of Charlotte Flair?
Yeah, that's true. Because that's where the rivalry was. That match they had years ago, Charlotte Flair squeezed away into that match, but the rivalry was Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey.
The man versus Rousey,
Charlotte was going to beat Asuka, and she made it a triple threat with both titles, so it became a bit more historic for Becky Lynch. But the rivalry was Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. So if she's not going to come back after all this time and have this match, you better make sure that she's the one that she picks. If she picks Charlotte, I might be more angry than when Garner flipping. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it.
Oh, man. All right, cool. So that was the women's Royal Rumble, and let's sandwich that in with the one of the main events, if anything, Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. This is a fight that many, even if you don't watch wrestling on a weekly basis, you still know who Bobby Lashley is, and you definitely know who Brock Lesnar is. These guys have been put together. We've been asking for this for many years. When would they fight? Who would win if these two fight? We finally get to see it. Was it a match that you expected to see, or was it much to do about nothing?
No, it was a fight, man, and that's what you wanted, isn't it? I think that's what they were trying to do. Two men that have been wrestlers, they went into mixed martial arts. Brock Lesnar dominated in UFC, obviously before he got diverticulitis. I said the damn word. Diverticulitis, is that how you say it? Obviously, some of this news that he had. Obviously, that kind of took away from him, obviously, and then Bobby Lashley went to Bellator, came out unbeaten, but obviously that time you wouldn't say they were they had high caliber heavyweight fighters. I think at that time it was UFC. But regardless, that was their history. So you come out to a big fight. Now Bobby Lashley's back. He's the almighty
Bobby Lashley.
Almighty Bobby Lashley.
Come on.
You got exactly. Then you got the beast incarnate, the conqueror, Brock Lesnar. You've got two men that are just monsters. So it's gonna be a fight, and it was a fight, and I like that. That's what you want it to be. You want it to be a war, spear, F5, hurt lock, suplexes. Like that's what you want, man. So I was happy with that. Again, the ending,
I liked it.
No, that's not my issue. I think they shouldn't have done it now. Because I understand why they did it. They obviously did it because I think that was supposed to happen at the day one thing before obviously Roman got COVID.
Yeah.
They should have chilled. I think what they should have done is let Bobby Lashley actually just beat Brock Lesnar. Let it be a shock. Like, yo, hold on, he's beat Brock Lesnar. Let Paul Heyman have some sort of doubt in his mind. And listen, I'm not here to doubt Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman will play a massive part in this, and that guy's a genius. So I'm pretty sure I'll say what I want to say, and then I watch the show through to Mania, and everything plays out beautifully in the way that he wants it to. It'll be a masterpiece. But for me, it's like, all right, cool. Take your time. Like, be Brock Lesnar's guy. Let Roman Reigns continue to diss you, cuss you out, cuss your mum out, cuss you out for being Jewish, all of that. And then come to WrestleMania. And when it looks like Brock Lesnar's about to win, the Usos come out of nowhere. You deal with them as well. And then whilst his back is turned, you see Roman Reigns going towards the rope or sank. And then Paul Heyman hands him the title, distracts the referee, and he cleans him out clean. And then he doesn't just...
Okay, I get what you're saying. So you would have preferred that Paul Heyman turn at WrestleMania.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just that little shock moment. Like, because they have the ability to take it so far that if you're watching, you're thinking there's no way it's gonna turn now. Like, no way.
Yeah, you're right.
Cussing him out.
There's no room for that shock value now at this point.
Yeah, like I think you could have done a lot more to shock, because now it's just gonna be those two fights. I do think Seth Rollins will squeeze into that match, but it is what it is. But I feel like there was just a chance to make something crazy happen later on. And I think they didn't time enough. But I wasn't angry or upset with the ending, because again, once that happened, once that spear came, I was like, okay, he's gonna lose, and then he's gonna go to the Royal Rumble, and that's what I was thinking personally.
Okay.
So I wasn't mad at it, and I was like, that's what I'm with you. I was happy with the match. It's just I feel like they just missed a trick, but that's just me.
For me, I think before the fight, I was just like, we've been waiting for Bobby Lashley, Bobby Lashley for the longest of time. And I just felt like the build-up for it was short. But this is WWE nowadays, people having beef for a month and then the beef is done. So it's no longer the long months and years of, this ain't Stone Cold and The Rock times where your beef is ongoing and it's on site. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I see you, it's on.
It's on.
Okay, so we didn't. The only good thing I liked about it, in terms of the build-up, was to see Brock coming out of his shell a lot more. The mic skills is improved. The jokes, the character that he's in right now is you can see that he's blatantly gone to Vince McMahon and said, if you want me on this show now, it's no longer under your terms. I'm doing what the hell that I want. I'm coming in wearing overalls with a mohawk ponytail.
Yeah.
Busting joke, doing what I need to do. Bobby Who, all them kind of lines there. And then obviously on the other side with Bobby Lashley as well, he's assumed his role perfect as well. You know, a guy that's flat, you know, trying to be flashy. He understands who he is. He understands the game, and he's very much taking a direction from MVP. So I like the fact that he's got a manager as well, because it just supports the mic skills and stuff like that. Because I would say Bobby Lashley lacks on that side of things in terms of the mic. The ending, like you said, just it kind of took away from the shock value that we can get later on, because you got to remember not only the Royal Rumble that came later that night, then also you got the Elimination Chamber, the last event before WrestleMania. What they're gonna do in that in itself, and then you've got WrestleMania. So, but all in all, I like the fact that once again, when you're a heel, you can get away with these things. Although he was completely battered in the fight, Bobby Lashley, he still escapes with a win and fully convinced that he is the champion. He's got the title, but as we saw in Raw, obviously Brock Lesnar was like, yo, man, how, like, are you actually happy with the win? Like you actually happy with this win?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So Bobby Lashley's gone on to win the title via, the interference from Roman Reigns. And then Brock Lesnar has then put himself in the Royal Rumble at number 30. Bro, like, what was you thinking at this point?
Can't lie to you, yeah. When I heard the I was like, yeah, you know what? I was like, yeah, all of you are dead. All of you are dead, man. Sorry, man.
Kojo, you just made me spill my water, man.
When you hear that, when that music comes, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's time.
It is, yeah.
You know, there's certain music, there's certain music you know to yourself, when you hear it, you're
don't
done.
make me laugh, yeah. So I don't know if you clocked it, but Randy Orton, because Randy Orton these days just does things for banter, innit? When the countdown was happening, he stopped wrestling. He just looked at the clock, yeah. And then when he heard that, his hand went on his head straight away.
Like Kolo Toure.
She said, oh, fuck. He's like, yeah, fuck this, man. Fuck this, man. This is long.
Because at this point, you know to yourself, after what's happened to him in his fight against Roman Reigns, you know you're not coming into this Royal Rumble to mess about.
That's like, if there's anything scarier than a Brock Lesnar, it's a pissed off Brock Lesnar. That's it. Now I know it's wrestling, so he's not legitimately pissed off. But the fact that he's said,
come on,
it's enough. Like, that's why man was looking like, do you need to come into the ring now, blood? Like, real talk, like, man. Bro, he won the match in 2 minutes.
What I loved about that moment was it further just emphasized how important Brock Lesnar is, not only to WWE but to wrestling. And we had this conversation off air the last time in terms of like the AEW, and like we love the fact that they have like 5-star matches and obviously everybody can wrestle and stuff like that. But you need to have the star power. Yeah. When I'm watching wrestling, whether it be you're a casual fan or like a wrestling enthusiast, like you watch wrestling every day or whatever, you still need to have that belief that this guy can do, like, no one can beat him, or this guy is the toughest SOB. Like, I don't want it to be a case where you're seeing all of these skinny cruiserweights and they're holding world titles and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I want to see all of that. I want to see badass Brock Lesnar's muscle-bound guys that when they go into the Royal Rumble, they're chucking man over the rope, F5 in, suplex cities. You got to have a cheat code.
Bro, and this is characters as well, man. Like, you don't just fall in love with like the wrestling. The wrestling doesn't have to always be fantastic. It's about the characters, bro. Like, I'll bring up John Cena for example. Like, this guy went from being like a generic guy, and he started becoming his rapper. He became a bad guy. He went into a match with Rey Mysterio and called him a midget dominatrix. He called him. He said, what was the part that he said that he killed me? He goes, he's about to put a whip. I'm going to put a weapon in on the Mexican Gary Coleman. I'm like,
my goodness. Yeah, I remember that when he was spitting the bars, yeah.
Yeah, the bars. And then after he became the good guy, more himself, whatever, and people are like, oh, I don't really like this guy, man. He's too goody. And they say, all right, cool. I'll heart up your favorites, bruv. Like, he told Roman Reigns, I'm still here because you can't do your job. Man said,
oh, yeah, that was crazy.
And people are still trying to figure out if you're that guy. Like, if you want to, you're holding the mic, you don't have to speak. You need to learn how to do one. He told them all of this in front of a live camera, a live fan.
It's not just about your wrestling. It's not just about your wrestling ability.
This is it. Told them when he told the Miz. He told the Miz and Maurice. So he said to Maurice, "I don't even know what the hell you're doing here. Women's revolution started, and you're just here being a lackey. You're a valet to your husband. You're Nike, and then you're dissing me for not having children yet. How long have you been married? And you're firing blanks all on live TV, hotting them up. Man said you're not the it couple, you're the it couple, brother.
Yeah.
Cuss them out. I need Vim. I need Vim.
Yeah.
You know, cuss people out. Randy Orton went from being the pretty boy, party boy, to a vicious man that will kick your father's head in for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
For no reason.
For no reason. The guy sitting there watching, and he grabbed your father from the stand and started wanting his head and kicked his head.
He went to Triple H's yard.
Okay, to Triple H's yard and had a fight in his yard. What's my favorite moment? He handcuffed Triple H to the ring, DDT'd his wife, and then lips her lifeless body. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, This is wrestling.
This is wrestling.
You can only be a wrestling enthusiast and understand like how great wrestling is, man. Because you watch it and you just think to yourself, how are they getting away with this,
bro? This is why I like. I like that reality side of it as well. The women, when Ronda Rousey had her first run, she had that beef with Nikki Bella, innit?
Yeah.
And Nikki Bella had broken up with John Cena at the time, and she was talking about knocking down doors, and then Ronda Rousey was like, "Oh, I've knocked down doors in judo, in UFC, and I'm doing it here too. The only door you've knocked down was the door to John Cena's bedroom."
Oh God. This is what I like about wrestling as well, yeah. And obviously it's an in-house thing or whatever. I'm sure no one switches over the when they try to bring in the real life,
the little element.
You got a drop of it because it is the reality era in it, and everybody has access to these wrestlers now on social medias and stuff like that. These programs that they do with WWE and all of that kind of stuff. These diva shows and stuff. So when you are dropping those real life stories in the wrestling promos, that's when it gives you the ooh. You go ooh, like you really go in there with this,
bro. When CM Punk, even before his whole pipe bomb thing, he had a promo with Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels was like, "Yeah, I'm like you, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs." And then CM Punk out of nowhere goes, "Not anymore," and the fans were like, "Oh."
So what do you think happens when they go backstage though? Like, all right, bro.
No, the way it is, no, for me, I know because I was talking to my cousin Alex about this recently, actually, about a time when, because Vince McMahon okays these things. I remember Batista had a interview and he was saying that he was pissed off about a promo, but he just did anyway because it was a time when him and Rey Mysterio were beefing after Batista became bad, and then Rey was like, "Yo, think about Eddie, man. What about Eddie?" And he just came out with Eddie's dead, stiff, live on, bro.
What do you say afterwards, though?
What do you say afterwards? He said the lines. He said the line, "Eddie's dead," and then clotheslined him and then banged him again. What more do you want me to add to that? There's nothing to say after that promo.
No, there isn't. But that's the beauty about wrestling, because they still give you they still know how to give you the shock value. Even when we think to ourselves we know everything, or we can assume everything, they still manage to find a way to give you that shock value. And this is what we like about it. Just obviously just to read it back. So we've now got Brock Lesnar in the final settings of the Rumble. We're now seeing that Brock Lesnar is definitely going to win this. He's on the road to WrestleMania. We've already seen Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Coming on to Raw now. Brock Lesnar has obviously said, look, man, I ain't got time for you, Bobby Lashley. Kind of just disrespected him for being a kind of a fake champion. He's after Roman Reigns again. Do we really want to see Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar again?
I kind of do, because I feel like this is like a different scenario. It's not the same big dog versus a brutalizer. Like this Brock Lesnar, everyone's enjoying this Brock Lesnar. And this Roman Reigns, no one's seen this Roman Reigns before. Like, ever. Not even close to it. Like, this Roman Reigns is ridiculous. The guy says he's on God mode now. And it's hard to you know what I mean?
I'm on God mode.
I'm on God mode, son. He's telling you can't touch me. Like, come on, man. Have you been living up a rock? Like, come on, man. So, like, can't touch me. Don't.
That's exactly. You know what? That's exactly how he be chatting. It's just literally. Like, oh man, come on, man. And you've been watching by now. Like, I'm in God mode.
I'm in God mode. Like, what? You want to come and beat me now? I can't go beat someone else. That's what he says to John Cena. I remember John Cena came back and did a promo. He was like, "Oh yeah, like you're John Cena. You're a legend. You're good enough to be WWE champion." He goes, "You're not good enough to be Universal champion. You don't want this, fam. This ain't for you. Go somewhere else and fight someone else, man. Like, don't waste my time here." That's what you want. He says that people come and fight him. You're on the island of relevancy. I make you relevant.
But are you finding now, in terms of Roman Reigns' character, and I'm just trying to put the two together with Brock Lesnar's massive push at the moment and how strong he is. I think Roman Reigns has gone through that kind of showing how dominant he is and stuff like that. But he's kind of taking that more like he's doubting himself mode right now. Obviously with the Seth Rollins or whatnot, the whole issue with what's his name? What's the manager's name again?
Oh, Heyman.
It's gone. Paul Heyman, sorry. And now obviously going into this fight with Brock Lesnar, if it is in terms of WrestleMania, he's going to be kind of taking that more back role as not being like the guy we're looking to see that, oh, he's guaranteed going to win. All eyes is pointing to Brock Lesnar right now to win the title in it because of the push is going. If he beats Brock Lesnar, does this then solidify him as the real top dog, and then possibly maybe then push towards like a Rock fight? Or do you think there ain't such a build up?
No, he has to beat Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar's also banged him at every WrestleMania as well. Like every WrestleMania, he's banged him. What I'll say is the only way, because at this point you don't need Brock Lesnar to leave the match looking strong anymore. He's far too legitimate to look strong. For me, it's like this, because I was saying earlier that I think it still might be a triple threat. If it becomes a triple threat, the only way Roman Reigns should lose the title is if Seth Rollins is to pin Brock Lesnar.
Oh, you think they'll try and do that
the other way? Because
the other way, yeah.
Because Brock Lesnar's he's never been afraid to take a pin, man. The guy don't care about winning or losing. He just wants to tell stories. And that's why he's, like you're saying, he's such a credit to the business. He wants to build stars. That's what he did to what's that Scottish fool's name? Drew McIntyre. He did from as well, bro. He let you beat him up in front of the crowd on the ramp and screamed at you whilst you're acting injured that, grab the title. Like, make yourself look like even more of a star. Like, do all of that. So with Roman Reigns, all he needs is that one little extra thing now. Because you got to think about it. He's beaten all the biggest names, even the guys that have left the company. He's knocked them out. And then he beat up John Cena. He's beat up Seth Rollins now. If he beats up Brock Lesnar, which he did in the other match in Saudi Arabia, but they don't really count that.
Yeah, they don't really count that. Yeah,
it's like, all right, cool. Pretty much everyone that I've needed to beat, I've beaten. Who is left from me? I have beaten Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, John Cena, Edge, Daniel. The names are, the list is huge.
Racking up. Yeah.
So now, if he beats Brock Lesnar,
it has to be The Rock, man.
That's the last one. But then that's a Samoan family thing. So that one,
you see that storyline right there. If The Rock can really dedicate himself for a period of time just to stay in wrestling and stuff like that, this is the story that I'm looking forward to, because they can go so deep with it.
They can.
The family, the bloodline, everything. Obviously, everybody's looking up to Roman Reigns. Obviously, you got the Usos as well looking up to Roman Reigns. But when you see then someone else, there's a story here. I'll give an example. A story. 50 Cent was saying that the reason why G Unit wasn't so close together anymore is because you got someone like what's his name again? His name's escaping me. Not Tony Ayo, Lloyd Banks. So Lloyd Banks, yeah. What 50 was saying, that Lloyd Banks around his people, he's the big dog.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the big dog. Everybody look at Lloyd, because he's around his peoples. But then when 50 comes around, Lloyd Banks don't like it because he's no longer the big guy. So I liken it to the fact that Roman Reigns is the big guy. He's the head of the table at this particular moment around the Usos and all of that. But if you used to bring The Rock in it and how big of a megastar he is, and they'll bring all of the kind of the truth serum in there as well. I put you on movies. If it wasn't for me, if they start playing that storyline out like that, oh man, there's so much room for a proper. So I feel like if this is gonna be a Brock and Roman Reigns matchup, they're gonna make Brock look a tad weaker than how he's been portrayed. But then if he beats him, and I'm not just talking about a disqualification, it needs to be a pinfall. Yeah, even if it's a cheating, but there still needs to be a 1, 2, 3. Just the same way Bobby Lashley is riding a wave with the fact that look, I don't care how I won the fight, I got the 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm looking forward to. Just obviously to touch on Bobby Lashley, obviously in the dynamics of things, how obviously he's champion, but how better off has he come off better off the back of this Brock Lesnar fight, or do you think it's just still, yeah?
I think he was in a nice position because he sold himself as the Almighty. Like the way when he lost the title to obviously to Big E, obviously he lost clean to Big E in their rematch, which makes sense because Big E needed that. But that also meant that I think for a lot of our views, I don't think he lost any credibility. So now when you come into this match, like, yes, it sucks that you won it in the way you did because it was Roman Reigns. You got F5'd. And then Roman Reigns pretty much saved your ass. Like, it doesn't look like you're gonna win the match. We're being honest. But I don't think it's such a negative. I think what they're gonna do now is have him defend it in the chamber. And I think what's going to be key about that is he's going to probably be the one to pin Brock Lesnar in the chamber. And if he does again, I think so. And if he does that, then he's good, because that's what needs to happen. Like Brock Lesnar's the guy that has banged up every man. Still from the young years, he was wrestling for 2.5 years on the main roster.
Yeah, banged up The Rock.
Undertaker, Rock, Hogan, Flair, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, ended the streak of the Undertaker when he came back.
The next big thing. John Cena, he banged up when he came back as well. Like, bruv, he gave John Cena 16 suplexes in one match. Made John Cena look like flipping. What was the name of that one-legged wrestler they had in WWE when Brock Lesnar banged him as well? Zach something. That one-legged wrestler. Oh yeah. Oh,
bruv. Like, they made that he's banged every man there is to beat. Bruv, he's beaten all the 3 members of the Shield.
Yeah. All of them.
So what's left? What's left? He has nothing. There's nothing left for him to do. Nothing. Like,
yeah. The thing about it, even when Brock got the title, it was good to see his dominance and all of that stuff. But just holding the title it's like he's gone past that. He doesn't need to hold the title for it to prove that he's the top dog. He's just about dominance. Even that fight with Bobby Lashley, those suplex cities, yeah, I was watching them one by one. And I know it's wrestling, but the way it was making Bobby Lashley look, yeah, each suplex was taking a chunk of his soul.
yeah.
He was getting up groggy, and I was like, I know wrestling's fake, but still hitting that canvas 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 times, it's gonna take its toll, man. You're gonna have to have words at the back, like, bro, man, come on, man. Like,
yeah, no, honestly, no, but I think he also recognizes that Bobby Lashley's a tough man. A very, very tough guy. I think he can take that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would think that they did that for the effect of making it look a fight. Making it look a fight. That's what you want, man. I live for that brutality, if I'm being honest. Because I know that John Cena had neck surgery like 2 or 3 times. And Brock Lesnar grabbed this guy by his waist and threw him. Flung him. Neck first. I was like,
don't give a damn about your neck.
I said, do it again. He did it 16 times. Do it again. Yeah, do it again. Send this guy back into the military.
I've seen Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I've seen Brock Lesnar. Like, and you know, sometimes when wrestlers either hit a move wrong or they get caught by a punch or whatever, obviously they're not going to be bait about it. But you know when they're switching. He switched up. I think it was on 2 occasions I've seen him switch. On Braun Strowman, when he was punching him up, real life, like you ever do that? And he did it to Randy Orton as well. And I was like,
bleed, didn't it?
Yeah, that's when I knew, like, you know what? Like, don't go above and beyond. Just because you see that you think I'm tough or whatever, but don't go above and beyond what we need to do here.
That's for the listeners and for my cousins as well. I don't think Alex has seen this, right? So Braun Strowman. I think it was like a fatal 4-way or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Braun Strowman gets Brock Lesnar and gets his thigh against Brock Lesnar's knee, but he actually goes full vim. So Brock Lesnar doesn't sell it like he's hurt. He gets up and gives him the swiftest right hook to the jaw. And you just see Braun Strowman's head just going, oh.
And then continued to pummel him on the floor.
Bam, bow. And you could tell it was groggy. He didn't know where he was for a while. He was like, oh, shit. And then the Randy Orton one, when he just took his gloves off and just started giving him elbows to the head. And he saw blood. You couldn't see Randy Orton's face. You just saw blood pouring onto the ground. You're like, no, it's too much.
Like, and the thing about it, all he would just tell you is like, listen, don't overstep it. Don't overstep it.
But the reason I knew that was real, because I was thinking to myself, did he use that blade thing that they did? The reason I knew that was real is because Chris Jericho had an interview saying that he watched the match from backstage, and when Brock, he said, this guy's a fool as well, but he watched the match from backstage, and Brock Lesnar came through the curtain and he squared up to Brock Lesnar. And then I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Why are you squaring up to Brock? He's angry, and your first reaction is to he comes through the curtain, you stand up in front of his face and say, what's he doing? And she should have banged you as well. She should have banged you as well. Send you back to go and do music with Fozzy or what we call your band. Banged you as well, man. God, because there's certain people you don't piss off. And Brock Lesnar is one of those people. So I don't say that Randy Orton deserved it, because I don't feel like he deserved that brutality. But
he lost his mind, man. He lost his mind because it's one of them situations.
Crowd, elbow, bow. I was like, yeah. Say less.
Oh man, that was Royal Rumble, crazy. Obviously we're on the road to WrestleMania. We touched on that. Just the last thoughts now, but obviously the next show that's coming up is SmackDown. What is your thoughts on what's going to happen to SmackDown, so we could just round this off?
I'm a bit disappointed, firstly, because Seth Rollins came onto Raw and said something about I'll see Roman again sometime soon. And disappointed may be the wrong word, but I'm hoping that means he's going to go to SmackDown, because the guy didn't beat you fairly. So by rules of how wrestling's always been, you are due some sort of rematch. Keep the story. You know
But then he said that he wants to he will get his rematch in the chamber though. So his mind now is on.
It's part of the Bobby Lashley title match, isn't he?
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like, bro, a guy must have hit you with a chair 20 times, and you're telling me you'll see him another time down the road, bro. I'm coming for your mum. Alex, if I step to you and I bang you in the back with a chair, like, hey, yo, Michael, I shot you the other day. You gonna smack me, you know? Come on, man. Like, no, I like that, man, bro. Oh, no. 80 banks to the face minimum.
Minimum. Honda slaps.
Back in 2012, I hit you with a chair amount of times. Since then, we've probably had about 50 fights. I'm sure you've got enough revenge on me. And now we're having a match, and you're smacking me more times than I smacked you. Listen, him with a chair. He hit me like 3 times.
It was more than that because he was hitting him. No, but you're talking about Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Bro, he banged up Dean Ambrose more. Dean Ambrose got banged. I remember even the commentator out of nowhere, definitely unscripted. He goes, "Whoa, he's really going to town here on Dean Ambrose." No, why are you banging him so much, man? The chair broke. The chair's not even solid like that, but it broke. I actually broke on it.
But this is what I was saying. This is like I always cast my mind to like, what is the conversation when they get backstage? Like, bruh, come on, man. I only told you a couple times, like, and they'll be like, "No, man, you know, the effects looks even better, you know, like, look at the way the chair busts up."
I had to hit you that 19 times. I thought you love, man. Nah, the 4 more. Nah, you needed that, bro.
You know, like sometimes when you see when a wrestler will give like I don't know, like an F5 or whatever, and the crowd are going, "One more time," and they give it to them again.
I remember, what's his name? Was it Bo Dallas? Brock Lesnar gave him like 3 suplexes and an F5, and then the crowd was doing that one more time thing in it. And then he did another F5. Yeah, he was walking away, and then Paul Heyman went up to him and goes, "Hey, listen, one more, just for me." Just for me, just give him one more. I brought him a smile.
That's not agreed with though. No one. I'm telling you, like backstage, there's definitely a conversation. Like, yo, man, come on, man. I know the crowd were egging you on, but please, man, my neck. See, buddy.
No, I love it, man. That's one thing I love about wrestling. I think that you always get because it's TV, it's drama. No matter how,
yeah.
Because other shows try to say, "Oh, it's a love of wrestling," bro. You're there to tell stories. That's why it's called sports entertainment. That's not an offensive term. Wrestling is a sport, but you're entertaining people on TV. You're not there doing flipping Olympic wrestling. You're doing high flying over ropes. You're hitting people with kendo sticks. Last week on the Raw, they had a scooter race. Like,
you get everything. That's the beauty of wrestling. You get everything. So you get from the seriousness of it, from the joke, the in between. The good thing about wrestling is, I would say, I used to watch wrestling on a weekly basis without fail until my eyes were super red. I'm staying up watching the TV. But obviously nowadays we've got the social medias. Obviously you can always catch up, whatever. But there's one thing I love about wrestling. It's like EastEnders, isn't it? You may not watch EastEnders for bare long. As soon as you just jump on at least one Raw or SmackDown or a big show like a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania or lead up to that, you catch up and you know who's wrestling and you know what's going on. So that's the beauty of it. And it's just the storytelling, you know, of it all. That's pretty much it. When people say, "Oh, you still watch wrestling and stuff like that," I'm just like, well, bro, man, if you actually understand the dynamics of it, it's like any type of programming that you're watching, whether it be power, whether it be this and that, it's just entertainment, man. It's the entertainment value of it.
My ex said to me, oh, my brothers watch wrestling. Why do you guys still watch that? You're growing up. I was like, why do you watch the Kardashians? Not come and chat shit about my show. What do you watch Kardashians for? What did Khloe get cheated on again? Oh, boo-hoo. I lie, man.
Yeah.
I lie, man.
Exactly that. It's the same thing. We all know it's predetermined. We all know it, but it's the entertainment.
This is so far away from wrestling, but I'm very, very glad that Jordan Woods kissed Tristan. Just saying it, by the way, Ruth.
And if it was wrestling, they'll be able to have a fight at a pay-per-view, and they'll be able to sort out the differences and be able to sort it out.
There
Oh
you go.
man.
There you go.
Kojo, you know we can talk about wrestling forever and a day. Let's not make this even the last time. Let's make this the first of many.
Yeah.
We'll definitely catch up on more on wrestling. Obviously, this was a big pay-per-view. But anytime, man, we want to chat about wrestling or you want to chat about wrestling, we'll jump on here, man. I enjoyed our time, man. I enjoyed our time. Where can people find you, man? I know obviously we've been talking about wrestling, but you know, in terms of other content.
Yeah, Free Midfield is the main thing in it, really and truly. So Free Midfield podcast on YouTube and Free Midfield on all your socials and your audios. So Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, and then you can go to like Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. What's the other one called? TikTok. As well. Yeah, so we're everywhere, man. Can you find me talking about anywhere about wrestling? Only just here, my friends. Just right here.
Listen, this is the beauty of it. This is why I've developed a platform in terms of just a dash of sports. So it could be one, we could be talking about football as we predominantly do and stuff like that, or other sports or sports entertainment. It doesn't matter. Like, it's what our passions, and this is why we're able to just sit here and just chat about it, regardless, and whatever format. I had a list of the way I wanted to do it, and I was just like, we just chat organically. But yeah, man, love as always, man. I appreciate it. And I'll put the links in the description area. You'll be able to go and check Kojo out, Free in Midfield, and also I'll put the links in the description area about a dash of sports and wrestling. And this ain't gonna be the last time. I've always wanted to chat about wrestling and stuff like that because it's a passion of mine. And then when you're meeting like-minded people, this is the beauty of it. So coming on here and you're just chatting by yourself would be long. But when you can bounce it back with someone that equally loves wrestling, then that's the beauty of it, bro. But yeah, man, that's a dash of sports. This was our wrestling chat. We recapped and reviewed the Royal Rumble, spoke about Raw, SmackDown, wrestlers, you name it. It's all in here. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And until the next time, love as always. Peace.
Peace.